First one goes to Josh Robbins from The Athletic.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Steve. When your team has been at its best, or at least its most competitive against Milwaukee, what has your team accomplished well?
Inside out, which isn't, was just difficult against them. If you look at it, they're the best defensive team in our league, for a reason. You're not going to score you don't score at the basket. You don't get second chances. They don't foul you. And, they're going to force you to make threes. So when we were able to move them, so there's a little bit more room to get inside out threes, that's when we played our best. The reality is that even though the 3-point attempts are there, it's how you get them. And the ball still has to hit the paint, and you have to have ways to get the ball driven, at them. And that's when we've had our better chances.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, how would you assess the energy level at practice today, and how are Evan, MCW, and AG progressing?
Yeah, I thought the guys were really good this morning. As part of the NBA, we had a disappointing performance yesterday. That hasn't been who our team has been. I think our effort has been a big plus for the majority of the year. We are undermanned, and we didn't play as well as we needed to. So, but they were good today. They understand that's the nature of this league, is you have to be able to handle disappointment when you don't do as well as you could, and come back and get ready for the next game. So, our team is in a challenging place, and yet I thought we had a good attitude this morning, and we got some things accomplished.
Eric Wilson, 1070.
Coach, good morning. Thanks for doing this. With regard to, practice today, was there one area of focus that you concentrated your efforts on, gearing up for not only New Orleans, but also Milwaukee?
Yeah, actually, we did both. We did some offense, we did some defense, and we did a lot of shooting. We did most of the defense was more like in a walkthrough type speed, because we've been playing so much. And we did some things more actually in preparation for starting to prepare for Milwaukee more than we did New Orleans.
Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Hey, Cliff, just piggybacking off the first question, does it amaze you that a team that gives up more three-pointers than anybody else can still find a way to rank number one in defense? It just seems like in today's era, you would think it would be the opposite, but they found a way to do that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things watching them. Is one, they do a good job of taking away the strengths of individual players. I think they're really locked into personnel, and so even though they have a philosophy of where they're not living and dying by the 3-point shot. I think they do. I don't know this for a fact, but I would bet that most of the elite 3-point shooters, I bet they do a good job on. And the second part is they're so good at everything else. You don't score at the rim. They don't foul. Their true shooting percentage defense is, I believe, number one in the league also. So their one-on-one defense or individual defense is very good. And he's really, what Bud's done is he got away from, like most of us, switch a lot more than they do. They guard their guy, and it's more old school defense, and it plays nicely into their personnel.
Back to Josh Robbins.
Steve, can you describe what Brook Lopez's role in the Milwaukee defense is? It's intriguing. A lot of coaches say he's one of the top defensive centers, which is a tremendous career progression for someone who was once thought as a supreme defensive liability early in his career.
Well, he's a rim protector. And I think it's funny that you said that because I had a conversation this morning with Brett Brown. Their room, meeting room is right beside ours. And we were talking about, different aspects of defense. And I think that for all the great things that Bud has done there, he's taking, Brooke, who's always been a terrific offensive player, and got him to play at a very high level defensively when, like you said, that would never have been a perceived strength. And that's not easy to do as a coach in this league. Guys normally, their strengths remain their great strengths. And what you try to do is get them to play to their strengths and help them with their weaknesses. And in this case, he took a perceived weakness and got it to be a real strength. And it's that, along with this range shooting, has been a huge part of why they're such an elite team.
Aaron Goldstone.
Coach, could you provide an update just on a couple players? I know Terrence is back in the bubble now. Where is he at right now as far as in the quarantine process, as the NBA has slightly changed their policies on reentry? And then how is Mo Bamba doing? Because I know he was suffering from migraine headaches the last couple days.
Yeah, Mo felt better. He was able to do some stuff this morning. He's had a history of migraines in the past. He hadn't had one for, I think he said like 18 months, but he felt a lot better today. So he was able to, participate. Terrence, we're just waiting on. I'm not sure what day for sure that he'll be back with us. And the other guys are day to day.
Philip Rossman Wright.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, last year, Nikola Vucevic struggled in the playoffs, and it was kind of his first playoff experience. How do you talk about with him about raising his game up for the postseason? Obviously, it'll be a different matchup this time, but what do you talk about with him as far as getting him ready for the playoffs because he's such an important player for this team?
More along the lines of, I had a talk with him this morning more about just coverages and things. I think that it starts with being totally locked into the game plan at both ends of the floor. And, we've had conversations about the playoffs, at the end of last summer when we spoke. And he understands, the playoff games are different. There's more intensity. You play the same team night after night. So the details become more and more important. And actually, those are strengths of his. So I feel good about where he's at, how he's played down here. He's put a lot into this. He was one of our best workers when we were back at Amway working out. And he wasn't as good yesterday, but he's played well down here.
Okay, we have time for one or two more. Josh Robbins.
A clarification question about Terrence. I know you don't have the exact day or the exact schedule for his reentry, but is there any concern? Is there any concern that he might not, assuming he tests negative for the virus, any concern that he would not have cleared quarantine before a Monday or Tuesday playoff start?
No, I think that what we're looking at is Friday or Saturday, is my understanding.
Thank you.
I think that was after the.
Any other questions for Coach Clifford? Okay, thanks, Cliff.